Hello everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Samantha Zapien. My presentation is going to be on surrealism. So my lesson topic and my person that I have chosen to focus on is René Magritte. He's a Belgian artist. He was a middle-class surrealist painter. He was the most prominent surrealist painter in the 1920s. His work was juxtaposed items and forms to give the painting a dreamlike effect. For those of you who don't know, juxtaposition is the placing of objects close to one another to compare and contrast them. My grade level is going to be for high school students, 9th through 12th grade, ages 14 to 17. The objective here is to get students to be able to identify the 7 elements of art and also to understand the concept of juxtapositions and to identify René Magritte's artworks, to critique surreal art using prior knowledge of art terms and elements. They will create their own surreal scene and also to understand the importance of the movement as surrealism and why it's relevant today. Students will create their own surreal scene. They will receive a worksheet with examples of things to draw, and they will get a feel of how to make a surreal artwork and then brainstorm on their computer to how to create their own piece. The materials that the students will need is a computer, pen, pencils, poster board, colored pencils, markers, acrylic paint, aprons, paintbrushes, water cups, and paper towels. Music will be provided to the students while researching their artworks. Vocabulary. So we're going to go through the 7 elements of art. So line has a beginning and an end, and it can be seen in nature and man-made. And there's an example here to your left. Color, they will learn the perception of what color is, so primary, secondary, tertiary. Shape, they will learn the area inside and also that there's positive and negative and geometric and organic shapes. Then they will learn value, the lightness or darkness of a color. Space, which you can see here, can be used in different ways, like shading, overlapping, placement, size, proportion, value and focus, and perspective. Form describes the 3-dimensional object, and here's an example to your left. Texture, it can be real or implied, as you can see in these examples here. And then I will go ahead and explain what juxtaposition is to my students, which is the placing of things close together to get a contrasting effect. Surrealism also is something that I'm going to need to explain to my students, which is a 20th century art movement to get one to realize their creative potential of the unconscious mind, like juxtaposition of objects or images. So the history and background of René Magritte. He was born in 1898 and died in 1967. After his mother drowned herself in a river, it seemed as though his art changed, and he worked as a commercial artist creating advertisements and book designs until he went to Brussels Academy of Fine Arts. Magritte liked to use space, time, and scale in his artworks, as well as using like torsos made of bird cages and giving fish human legs. René Magritte is known for his surrealism. This picture inspired me to use his work as an example for my students because of how unique his work is. So the procedures that will go down to get my students to understand and to visualize what surrealism is, they will sit down and learn all of the 7 elements of art, and they will learn the definitions of line, shape, value, form, space, texture, and color. And There will then be a small review after the presentation, and then I will go through all the elements again and have them repeat after me what they are seeing. I will then let the class discuss their opinions about the artist. They will give me feedback and questions at this time. I will then pass out a worksheet with surrealism ideas, and on the page will be things that I want them to draw down on printer paper in close proximity of each other or overlapping, so that they can understand juxtapositions. After they do a practice with their piece, I would like them to get their computers. They will research Rene Magritte and look at his artwork for reference. Then I will have them get their materials and aprons and make their artworks. I will draw on the board an example of what a surrealism piece would look like for more examples. I will walk around the classroom and ask if they have any questions. I will then put on music for students to relax and to concentrate. After they finish their art, we will have a class discussion and show and tell what this piece means to them. So connections. This project can definitely connect with history because Rene Magritte was a huge surrealist artist in the 20th century, and that can help students remember that time period. The topic can also be helpful in creative writing and expression of feelings through the expansion of knowledge of surrealism. And here are my resources. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you have a great day.